creating those quizzes that look very much like completed teacher review, so they can make some control on that. And what we've also done is enable that for any kind of question. So that system that we're building here is working for any question, not only for our questions. So any question that you have can be integrated into that solution. Of course, it's also compatible with our math questions. So basically, it's very simple. Linda was asking me to be brief, to be very brief. What we've done is we have enabled choice among different questions to be based on the grading of the student. You can obviously go to the next question. So you have a quiz, and you can typically go one question, then the next, and the next, and the next. What we've done is you can make the first question, and then you can, depending on the student's grade on that question, you can drive his path. You could think it's like you could do that with Moodle lessons. Our experience with Moodle lessons was that like the red lights between one step and the next were not like full compatible Moodle questions. So what we felt was that we need to be able to control each step by putting a regular question there. So we allow you to make step-by-step training with the student by putting questions in the middle. And then obviously the student can choose, we enable the student to choose its own path. So he can say, okay, despite the system is telling me to go to question A, I want to make question B because I failed, but I believe in the answer. Okay? And again, well, we start to orient and that's why there's this quantitative measurement of parameters. Okay, what we've done, I'll show you later. We were pending some code started review to upload it to MoodleOrg. MoodleOrg has its own styles for coding, so we need to recode a little bit to upload it there. And it's important to notice that when we started to look into what was available for adaptive quizzes, we found this module from Alan Franco, it's called Adaptive Quiz. His approach is, as I said, the contrary to ours, so his approach is a 19-volt calibrated difficulty tool. From what we last saw, he was not really maintaining it, but we are trying to maintain ours, but it's just not to get confused. Okay. Here is the system. It's a little bit hard to see, but I'll move away from the microphone for 1 second. That from the end of the room, it may look like a regular quiz in Moodle, but there's only one difference, and it's not minor. So that little icon opens you the door to the jump control, let's say like this. Okay? So when you press that, you go into a little window where you can control the jump. So you will have like a series of definitions like what to do if he's doing fine. If he's doing fine, let's say he will finish this question. And the other arrow is very simple. If he's not doing fine, go to question 2. Okay, so you can basically map the activity. Okay. The other important thing is in that kind of things is the random seed. So when you do that kind of question, you want the questions to be random. I mean, you don't want questions to be randomly selected. You want questions to be random and parameters in the questions to be random to have a different experience by the student. And if the student goes into the same activity again and again, he finds different questions. So there's a random seed. There, Moodle has the same idea, but I think we implemented that in a different or slightly different way. In any case, there is a random seed that allows you to generate questions, and then question 1 and question 2 that are technically speaking regular Moodle questions can have the same parameters. So you can have in question 1 a polynomial that has been randomly generated. Since we keep in mind that there we can go to question 2 that is technically independent from question 1 and offer or show the student the same parameter, the same polynomial again. Okay, so it's very important to have this concept of parametric clear. Okay. And then, of course, as I said, the student can always choose to do what he wants. We have to let them be free to move around. Okay. The project background is very simple. This was started to be developed in the Open University of Catalonia. That's about region 10 in 2012. We had a first prototype for MoodleMoot 1.9, then some piloting phases, and we have been having like the university ministry at the government also using it and promoting the Moodle 2 version. The high school system is also using that again very recently, and we've been working on some developments, basically upgrading and more recently upgrading to Moodle 3. Okay. The future is, as I said, uploading to Moodle. You can use it right now at GitHub. We use the same GitHub style than Moodle, so it'll be easy to move around with styles and everything. That's mostly very techy, guys. And the evolution, although it's from 2012, it's for us it's just a newborn. We are more used to commercial software than to open source projects, so be patient with us.